Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of Uncoveringyou Season 1. I am your host, Ohamadike Oni, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today. Uncoveringyou is a platform dedicated to guiding you on your journey to self-discovery and career fulfillment, empowering individuals and businesses to gain clarity of purpose and excel in their chosen fields. I'm excited to introduce our distinguished guest for today. He's a multi-award-winning tech expert and entrepreneur, internationally recognized in the IT and software industry, and has been featured on Forbes. He is a mentor to many and the CEO of Arravo. Please welcome Mr. Ayo Adegboye.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Okay, so who was Ayo Adegboye before all this?
Once again, thanks for the opportunity to feature on Uncoveringyou. I really appreciate the effort and the good work you're doing, and I'm pretty much sure that we achieve the same objective we set out to achieve. Who is Ayo Adegboye? Ayo Adegboye is just a regular guy who started his life like any regular boy on the street. But of course, I think that was self-discovery early enough, which actually prepared me early enough in my career.
So can you give us like a brief deep dive into your background and journey?
My dad wanted me to study medicine back in the days, and after I finished my secondary school, sometimes in 1991 thereabout, it took me 3-4 years trying to chase medicine, and I couldn't make it to study medicine. When I got to university, all my friends are actually medical students, and today they've all grown into medical doctor, consultants, practicing in the UK and America. We're still very close friends till today. So I've always found myself around them. But I'm glad today I didn't study medicine. I ended up studying geology and mineral science. But in the course of me studying geology and mineral science, I realized that I was developing passion for sales and selling, and I was developing passion to influencing people's decision. For me, selling was no longer a job, it was a work. At the time, it was no longer a work for me, it became a way of life. And they always say that when you enjoy what you do, it becomes fun to you. So what gives me that fulfillment was meeting someone who said, hell, I'm not going to do this. And just at the end of the day, you end up doing it even better because I influence your decision. So selling itself is an act of influencing decision. I've had the opportunity to work with a number of multinationals, the likes of MTN, IBM, Samsung Electronics. Most recent one was Schneider Electric, where I was vice president for West and East Africa, and I was responsible largely for over 20 countries within the region. There are several accolades on the job. For most places I had opportunity to work, I keep hearing the saying that this is the first time we got a best practice from Africa. So when I work with most of the multinationals, they always say this is the best practice in Europe, best practice in America, best practice in Asia. They've never really had best practice coming from Africa. When I was in Samsung for the first time, I came up with the global best practice, and I remember that year in Suwon in South Korea, we were all surprised because they invited 5,000 of us all over the world. Usually Africa would just come in to add to the number. And when they were calling top 10 best practice, they called number 10, number 9, number 7, number 5. We were all just there clapping, nobody. And they said number 3, we were surprised when they said Nigeria, Africa. Well, I was shocked, that not like we're coming to win. I mean, for us, the fact that we made it to Suwon in South Korea was just enough big deal, let alone coming in to win global best practice, coming to number 3. I mean, I was so excited that day. Like I said, it's mirage. You don't see the end from beginning. We acquired the stake of BCS from BCS West Africa, and we changed our name from BCS to Arravo. Precisely, that name change happened November 6, 2020, just after COVID-19. So we changed our name from BCS to Arravo. Arravo has presented us with great opportunities ever since then. A lot of stuff we couldn't do due to corporate governance from South Africa. We were able to appeal to the other market within West Africa environment. Today, we have expanded our business to Ghana in Accra. Again, leadership redefined. We got into the market. We make up of progress ever since then. That was about almost 2 years ago. Well, from the initial success in Ghana, we went to Cote d'Ivoire to repeat the same. And I keep telling people, in as much as failure could be recreated, success could also be recreated. So looking at some of the quick wins, we had to recreate some of the success stories. So today we're in Cote d'Ivoire and the business keeps expanding with about 4 or 5 other subsidiaries today. So this is the story in a nutshell. Thank you.
Okay. So you said you didn't know that your bid was going to win. Yeah, so how did you secure the funding?
To secure funding, I think I would digress a bit before I answer the question. We simply mean, we talk about networking, and I always love to say this when they ask me when I try to coach or facilitate strategy session. I said that there are 3 layers of networking, which simply means the first layer is, they always say, who do you know? Now, who you know matter. You know, I say, who do you know? It really matters who you know, but that's the first stage of networking. Who you know could be somebody you know through a friend, through your uncle, through your auntie, through your relatives. But the second level is that who knows you. So the people you know, do they know you? And which is pretty much says a lot, which is the second level of networking. And the third level is that the people you know, what do they say about you when you are not in the room? Which is actually the fundamentals of everything you need to do as a person. And that will take us to H2H. I will come back to double click on H2H. Now, the people you know, what do they say about you when you're not in the room? It comes with integrity, pedigree, and trust. So as long as people trust you, they've seen your track record, they've seen what you've done, it's easier for them to listen to you. And I keep telling people that what you need most of the time is not money, even though money is critical. But before money comes in, you need pedigree, you need track record, people need to be able to trust you. Even banks are looking for who to give money to. But as long as you don't establish credibility, you probably won't be able to access them further. And how do you establish credibility? Hopefully in the course of this interview, I will have to talk about it, that when you start a business, you need basic discipline to build your pedigree around your business.
Entrepreneurs who are struggling with getting funding, they should establish networks or connections.
Yes, network and connection is good, but you need to establish basic discipline. So I'll tell you how it works. As entrepreneur, SME, you're just starting. When I talk about having basic discipline, I've seen a lot of people. When I mentor people, I say that if you're not disciplined, you won't go far. And discipline starts with keeping book and keeping record. Until you keep a proper book and record that could be audited and pay your tax, bank probably will not even give you listening here. You may be doing a turnover of 100 million, 1 billion naira. As long as you don't have a book properly put together, bank will only speak to your track record that is audited. So you go to bank, you say I need 100 million, 50 million, 10 million naira, for example. They ask for your track record. They look for your turnover in your bank. They look at how money comes in, how money goes out. And you should be able to audit your book, no matter how small it is. Audit your book, get a certified auditor. It won't cost you arm and leg. It's just a part of putting structure in place. Once you pay your tax the first year, you pay your tax the second year, you do that the third year. For you to pay tax, you need to measure your PBT, profit before tax. You need to look at what we call your EBITDA, for example, any before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. You need to look at all these, as long as you tick all the boxes. And for entrepreneur, it's not as difficult. You separate your lifestyle from business, but again, you don't completely separate your lifestyle from business. So I ask young entrepreneur, say this business is not where I want it to be. I say start by saying, you know what, every day you dress up, you get to the gas station, you buy gas, get your receipt, put it, because you are running your business. Your business should pay for your prestige. You go for business lunch, get a receipt, keep proper record. At the end of the day, let your accountant look at the entire book end to end. You don't dip hand in your business, spend the money without having a proper record. As Arravo is today, you see me for something as minor as 10,000, 20,000, I get my receipt, put it together. I come back, give it to my peers, let the finance team look at it, put it in our book. So at the end of the day, and at the end of the month, and end of the year, what you clearly see is you have proper record in place, you know.
So what sparked your interest in technology? Is this something you fell into, or you've always been passionate about it?
Like I said, opportunity comes at times, but when you're not prepared, you probably don't see the opportunity. So like I said, the first job I got early enough in my life was a technology company. And what was the job? To sell technology. Way back when I was in university, I started selling technology I did not know. As students, I was selling diskettes back in the days. So I was selling diskettes back in the days in school. It was an exciting one. Making small money just to make ends meet. And not long after then, I remember then I had a friend who lives in the UK now. This guy used to send us laptop from the UK. So we'll go to the street to sell it. We return, they give us other ones. We sell, we return. I mean, that was how the business of selling technology started back in the days in university.
So you kept on educating yourself?
Absolutely. And let's just say I told myself something some 20 years ago. I read a book by Brian Tracy, and I told myself I will never do anything outside selling in my life. Till I die, this is the only job I want to do. And I was speaking to myself when I was alone. I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And God forbid I do anything outside selling.
So what were the biggest challenges that you faced the early days and now in your business?
Several challenges.
The biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, I can't really say the biggest challenge. Just when the challenge appears to be biggest, at that point, you realize the bigger one waiting for you. So when you look at challenges, look at it from micro and macroeconomy perspective. I will take that challenge in two ways. Personally, I've gone through several challenges to get to where I am today. It's never going to be easy, but be prepared. I remember in the days when I decided to go for an MBA. The first time I applied for MBA for a global recognized MBA from the UK, I was turned down. I was told I did not have enough years of working experience. I felt so bad. So I applied the second time. They made me an offer for MBA in technology. I said, no, I don't want MBA in technology. I want proper MBA. They say, again, you do not qualify. So the third time I applied, this time around, of course, I've changed my job. So in terms of visibility into business decision, I was pretty much part of it. I was involved in business strategy. So
what qualifications were they looking for that you didn't have?
So for global MBA, I'm not talking of MBA, local MBA in Nigeria. For most of the global MBA, they're looking for your work experience. And the reason is, good question you ask is, they say that we don't think other people will learn from you based on your work experience in the class, that this MBA is about experiential knowledge. Hence, when we got into the MBA class, the first thing professor told us in the UK was, this is qualitative learning, not quantitative learning. And I remember that course, it was called Economics of Strategy. He said in Economy of Strategy, we're not going to be drawing graphs, be doing calculations. Say no, junk it. We're going to be interpreting those calculations. We're going to be interpreting graphs in a qualitative way, not quantitative way. So it's a function of a lot of work experience you are bringing on the table, so that when you come to a class of 20, 25 people, all of us are speaking and we're talking historically. This had happened. This is what we did. This had happened. This is what I did. We all learn from ourselves. That was when I began to appreciate why I was not giving that offer 3 years before. Then, why that appeared to be absolutely new challenge. Of course, I never knew a greater challenge was coming my way, having to cope financially, because I was sponsoring myself an MBA in UK. So every semester I have to travel down to the UK, pay for hotel, pay for tuition fee, pay for flight ticket. I was almost giving up. Couple of times I would drive down on 10 Milan Bridge in the middle of the night. So I was working in an office where we all close by 5 o'clock. So when we close 5 o'clock, my colleagues are going home. I will sneak into the kitchen to go and boil a big kettle of coffee. I knew there was no sleep on my face. So I will stay back there. I will read till about 4 a.m. So by 4 a.m. I will quickly run home just to have 1 or 2 hours sleep. Then to be able to come back like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning back to work. So while all this were going on, I was always getting threatened from the university. Yeah, your school fees, you need to pay. You know what it is when you convert Naira to pound sterling to be able to catch up with the school fees. I've taken a couple of loans everywhere just to be able to catch up. A couple of times, I'll be driving or be struggling to drive because I've read all through the night. I was sleepy and I started crying. I said, who asked you to even get into this in the first place? I kept going on and on. When I started my MBA, it's a case of there was no way, I couldn't see the end from beginning. But one thing is, if I'm trying to lift a heavy table, if I'm trying to tell people, I want to lift this table, come and help me, they probably won't help you. But you know within you, you do not have the strength to lift the table. But guess what? The day you start struggling to lift the table, people see you, they will join you to lift the table. But if you keep telling them, I want to lift the table, come and join me, they won't join you. But you need to start first. And people see that you are struggling, they keep coming to join you, to join you, to join you. So if you don't start, you will not move on. You need to start to keep going. So because I started, I could get help. But if I was waiting for all the money, I probably won't start.
So how do you stay focused and motivated? You know, you tried to study medicine, it didn't work. You kept on going, your mates had already gone far, then this one. How do you stay focused and motivated?
It's intrinsic somehow. If you believe in yourself, you can achieve almost anything and everything. As long as you can conceive it and you allow your dissonance to challenge you and you identify those gaps to where you need to get to. Within yourself, you speak to yourself, how do I cover all this gap? So you also need to psych yourself on the inside. Stephen Covey said that the private victory precedes public victory. So you need to see yourself as a victor on the inside before outside. You need to read, you need to go out. Anything you read, you need to practice it. And when you hear people giving you a good sound idea for business, you also need to put it to work. It's not enough to read all the books and not put it to work. And the difference is, one of the biggest things lacking today is execution quotient. You know, we talk about the intelligent quotient back in the days for intelligent, the smartness and the rest. But we have a lot of smart people. We have a lot of intelligent, brilliant people who do not execute ideas. So you see them, bring them to the room, they tell you about beautiful ideas, but going to the street and making it happen.
So would you say your strive for success impacted negatively on your relationship and family?
I wouldn't say that. It's just about finding a balance and striking that balance. And recently the HR, they changed the cliche. They call it work-life integration. They don't always call it work-life balance again. They say work-life integration. And how do you integrate your life into your work into your life? So when you're able to do that effectively, you realize that none suffers for the other. Back in the days when I was in Schneider Electric, I used to travel a lot across Europe. What I make sure I was doing is keeping in touch with family and always come back with box of chocolate and gifts when I return home. So everybody always look forward to me coming back home. And I try to make sure I use the best of opportunity to create time for family, especially on Sunday when we have time to bond, go for a brunch or go for a dinner date with the family.
So do you have like strict rules, like let's say once it's 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., nothing about work anymore? It's family, understand? Or how do you do
Unfortunately,
it?
I don't.
Or weekends, weekdays are for work.
So,
Weekends.
remember I said something initially when we started this conversation.
Mhm.
For me, what I do is no longer my job, it's my work. And I've said from work, it has turned to lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's a way of life for me. So I find it difficult to say that by 6 o'clock I'm not doing this again. No, what I do is a lifestyle. I've come to enjoy what I do. And what I do has come to really enjoy me as well.
So it doesn't affect your
It
family?
doesn't affect any opportunity I have. But trust me, I love to have fun. But because of having fun, I'm also working.
So as a coach or mentor, is it only people in your academy that you coach? Or can we just come to you and say, sir, I want you to be my mentor?
Yeah, so for me, coaching is not something I do for commercial purpose. It's something I do out of passion to want to see the best of everybody. So people don't pass through me without learning one or two things. And we learn from each other by the way. So number one rule when people come to me for coaching or mentorship is we're going to mentor ourselves and we're going to coach ourselves. So it's something I do for people around me. But again, it's beginning to hit into my own time and my own space as well. So I now need to begin to create schedule around it.
So on your Forbes article, you quoted your business is not going to die because of technology, but your business is going to die because you have not adopted technology. So emphasize on that.
Okay, I say your technology is not going to kill your business, but if you don't adopt technology, that's what will kill your business. So I will give you an analogy in order to answer that question. I hear people saying that, oh, the drone is taking aerial pictures and video now. It has taken the job of an helicopter and a cameraman. Back in the days when you see a cameraman in a helicopter try to do aerial video. And I said, no, the drone has not taken the job of a pilot and the cameraman. The drone has created a job for application developer. It has created a job for the man operating the drone. It has created a job for the man who is going to work on the picture quality and the video quality at the end of the day. So for every man who is losing his job, a man who has now evolved, and technology is evolving. As long as you keep yourself abreast of technology, it's not going to kill your business.
Okay. So you run your company so well. Were you like a natural born leader, or did you learn leadership skill? Because most entrepreneurs, they want to run their companies, but they don't even know where to start, how to go about it.
Well, maybe if you are born into royalty, you're born into leadership. But again, you can't go further. You have to learn leadership. So leadership is acquired skill, and every day comes with its own challenges. So we have different types of leader and different type of leadership style. So you have to learn leadership.
So how did you acquire the skill? Through experiences or?
Through experiences, through exposure, through reading, and there are different type of leadership. But I kind of find one very interesting, and I'll recommend that for most people. And most people who pass through me, I try to let them know there's no bad leader. There's no bad leader. But the problem with leadership is having a good understanding of situational leadership. Situational leadership simply means as a leader, you need to adopt and adapt to different situations to lead people. So there are different ways to lead people at different times.
So what is success to you now compared to when you first started?
I will also go back and answer you with the same response. It's mirage. You don't see the end from beginning. We redefine success every day. For me, for a young person out there, you probably think driving nice car, go to nice restaurant was a success when I started. So that appeared to be success. But for me, my definition of success is quite different now. and I see life from different perspectives, you will get there.
So you think Nigeria will catch up soon with the Western world, technological-wise?
I can't tell you soon, but one thing I can assure you is we need leadership will to be able to get there. Today, in Nigeria, we have abundance of human resources and capability, even in technology. But the day government will wake up and realize that we have what we call knowledge-based economy in Nigeria, anything can happen. What we have today is knowledge-based economy. And that's why you see a lot of Nigeria, the Japa. And when the Japa, they are doing excellently well. So they are knowledgeable. So we have deep, enormous resource in terms of knowledge and technology know-how in Nigeria. But do they stay in Nigeria? The answer is no. But the day we get the leadership will right, we can convert those enormous resources to come back home to help us in Nigeria. Even if they don't come back home, wherever they are. And anytime I talk about it, I talk about India being another knowledge-based economy. That we see a lot of Indians today. If you go to Microsoft at the helm of affair, you see an Indian man at the helm of affair. Go to Cisco, go to Google, go to Amazon, go everywhere. You see Indians everywhere. These are huge human capacity development that happen in India. And Nigeria is catching up fast. So that's where I see Nigeria.
So what will be the takeaway for aspiring entrepreneurs that want to follow your career path?
Just be disciplined. In the last few minutes, we've been talking about what I did. So just be disciplined, simple discipline, know when to say no, know when to say yes, know when to put yourself to work. There were days I hardly sleep at night. There were days I could sleep. Several things keep me awake at night. But as long as you are focused, you will get there. Just be disciplined. That's it.
And that's the advice you have for them?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've come to the end of this interview, but we have a game, just a small game we want you to play. It's called This or That.
Okay.
So I will say something, you pick one.
Okay. And I don't have to tell you the reason why.
Oh, you have to. Some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll start simple.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Is tea not healthier?
That's what they say, but coffee works for me.
Okay. So talent or skill?
Talent or skill? I'll go for skill.
Why?
It could be learned. Talent is inbuilt.
Yeah.
Skill, you could learn it. And for you to learn skill, you also need to have some right attitude.
So if you see two people looking for employment, you go for the one with skill, not talent.
If you say the one with skill, I think for you to actually acquire skill, you must be talented in the first place.
Do you? You might just be good at studying and learning new things.
If you're good at stuff through your talent, then you need to polish your talent. I want to believe that it is when you polish your talent that you become skillful.
So books or documentaries?
Documentary.
I thought you liked books.
Back in the days.
Oh,
I still read
now.
book, but now documentary, and I watch a lot of documentaries.
Okay.
Again, visual at times, because looking at the number of time I have, I still read book, but documentaries, especially those 8 hours flight.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I could actually, at times during those 8 hours, I take on some courses on LinkedIn. Yes, it's interesting.
Yeah. So corporate or casual?
Corporate.
Text message or phone call?
Text message.
Nobody should call your phone.
No.
So funding or strategic connection? No, you already said something about this.
Funding or strategic connection? Strategic connection.
Why?
Strategic connection could also open other doors for you beyond money. So money is not everything you
always need. Go for connection.
Yes.
Network.
Out of strategic connection, eventually I'll get money. I'll get funding.
I think I know this one. Gym or sports? Are you thinking about it?
Gym or sports?
Yeah, you don't go to the gym, it's sports.
I used to go to gym, but now sport. Sport.
So profit or growth?
Growth.
Why? It's profit you can achieve growth, but why do you pick growth?
If I grow, I will be profitable eventually. Or is it possible to grow without profit?
It's profit you can achieve growth. You can.
Really?
But give your reasons for
With profit,
picking...
you can achieve growth, but I would rather go for growth because when an organization is profit-minded, it also affects employee and growth. So when you talk about growth in all ramifications, you want to look at it. Individual growth, organizational growth, you need to look at it in different ways. But when you focus on profit, it could be at the expense of people who are making the profit itself. So if people who are making the profit are not growing, at the end of the day, the profit is not sustainable.
Okay. Hard work or smart work?
Smart.
Why?
Smart.
So you choose a hard worker any day, a smart worker any day to a hard worker?
Yes.
Even though the smart worker is just
hard work
easy.
is not about effort, it's about results. So nobody celebrates you for being hardworking. It's about results. And if you work smart and get the same result within few hours, why do I need to celebrate you for getting the same result spending days?
Okay, if you say so. We've come to the end of the show.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the time and opportunity.